The government of Guam continues to live beyond its means, according to the Office of Public Accountability. It has been a recurring statement from Public Auditor Doris Flores Brooks about the general fund for the last few fiscal years. The fund's 2011 financial highlights was released yesterday. The audit says Guam's ability to sustain itself despite a $47 million deficit is achieved by delaying the payment of tax refunds. Though the government has paid out nearly $300 million in tax refunds since December last year, Brooks says the government will need to find additional funds to cover the remaining balance of $30 million in 2011 refunds and another $105 million for 2012 refunds due next year. According to the OPA, the operational deficit of $47 million was the result of GovGuam expenditures of $589 million, exceeding revenues of $542 million. Brooks notes that the government experienced a decrease in cumulative deficit going from $321 million to $303 million, but she says this is because of $59 million in federal funds that have not been spent. The Guam Department of Education has had a surplus of American Recovery and Reinvestment Act funds that are set to expire this fiscal year.
DOD's operating surplus will reverse next year when the ERA local monies, technically, all right, here's what, the cumulative deficit, okay, right now is, based on the numbers, is $303 million. Were it not for the ERA, the deficit should have been approximately 58 or $60 million more. The cumulative deficit should have been $363 million.
The OPA report says the Department of Revenue and Taxation saw an increase in income and gross receipts taxes, but there seems to be some confusion as to how the government achieved this. Part of that increase was attributed to the decrease in unemployment rates. However, according to a Guam Department of Labor report issued last year, the unemployment rate did not decrease, but increased by nearly 4 points, going from 9.3 in September 2009 to 13.3% in March 2011. When asked about the conflicting reports, Brooks says she received that information from Revenue Tax Director John Camacho.
That's straight from what we got from John Camacho. So we're just kind of paraphrasing that email, and that's what he said.
Brooks also makes light of the disparity in revenues and the deficit. GovGuam's $552 million in revenues is the highest collected in 14 years, she says, but it still continues to experience a substantial deficit.
There's nothing really different. Expenditures continue to rise. I mean, you would think with a $56 million increase in revenues, I mean, we say this is the highest in 14 years, that the deficit would have gone down. Instead, the deficit remains considerably high at $47 million. So when you think about that, not only did we get $56 million from prior, over the prior years, but we also spent way beyond that, almost double that amount, from 56 to 47.
Janella Buhane Carrera, PNC News.